Hello, first graders. Welcome to a new social study lesson. Please get our community and beyond book and let's get started. We're going to start with a new lesson, lesson 4. All right. Sharing stories. All right. The essential question, why do we read stories? What do you think? You know that the essential question, we need to make connection with what we learn about the big ideas of the unit. We talked about people, events, and our shaping history. So that if people and events shape history, so everything we learn about, and when we answer the essential question at the end of the lesson, it's all related and connected to our big idea for this unit. All right, let's talk about tall tales. The word hunt, find and circle these words. Tall tale, exaggerate, fable, fiction, non-fiction. And if you find new words, you can just write it down here. All right, let's start page 40. Tall tales. Have you ever exaggerate? When you exaggerate, you make something more important or more bigger than it is. The story on the next page is a tall tale. Tall tale exaggerate details in a story. So as you know, when we hear stories, it doesn't have to be always about real people, right? Or real events. Sometimes it's made up. Sometimes it's they exaggerate. It doesn't. Sometimes it's fiction or non-fiction or fable or myth. So we will learn about all this. As you read the tall tale on the next page, underline the details that are exaggerated. So when we read the story, I would like you to underline the exaggerated part, that part that it doesn't make believe or it's not real. So let's start page 41. Paul Bunyan, a long time ago, there lived a lumberjack named Paul Bunyan. A lumberjack is someone who cuts down trees for a living. So lumberjack is the person who chop tree, and that's what he does for a living. Paul became famous for his size and strength. Stories say that he was more than 50 feet tall. That's the first part we can underline here, more than 50 feet tall. That's no way. Paul was also so strong, he could cut down 100 trees with one swing. See, one swing like that, he will cut down 100 trees. So that's another part that exaggerates. So cut down 100 trees with one swing. All right. Next page, page 42. Paul had a loyal friend named Babe. Babe was a blue ox. I don't think oxes are blue, so we can underline also this part. Some people say Babe was as big as a mountain. This also exaggerating, and we're gonna underline Babe was as big as a mountain, because this is also exaggerating. This is not real. All right. Babe followed Paul wherever he traveled. So we underline the detail that tell you this story is a tall tale. And we underline the two parts over here. Okay, let's go for that next page. One hot summer, Paul and Babe cleared an entire forest. Paul wanted to reward Babe with a fountain of water. He began to dig deep holes into the soil, looking for water. Paul dug so deep that the hole became the Great Lake. And again, I can see that this also exaggerating. So the part that cleared an entire forest, this part, also exaggerating. So we need to underline this. And Paul dug so deep that the whole became Great Lakes. This also not real. Okay, so now we did the first part, that we underlined the details that tell me that this story is a tall tale. All right, what's a tall tale again? It's a story that exaggerates details. So as you see, these details exaggeration, like he was 50 feet tall, he can cut down 100 trees with one swing. He had a blue ox, and this blue ox was as big as a mountain. And also, Paul and Babe cleared an entire forest, which is not, it can be true. And that's why Paul tried and decided to reward Babe with a fountain of water. So he dug a deep hole that became the Great Lakes. So this is all a tall tale, and this all the information or the details that is exaggerated in the story. All right, if I want to ask you some simple question, like what did Paul do for a living? He was, remember the first page, he was a lumberjack. Very good, a lumberjack that cut tree for a living. And we talked about the exaggeration, and the first exaggeration was in first page, that Paul was more than 50 feet tall, and as we say, he could cut down more than 100 trees with just one swing. All right. Paul had an animal called Babe. What was Babe? Was a blue ox. Very good. And if I ask you, why did Paul want to reward Babe? Why he decided to reward him with this big hole that he said it became the Great Lakes? Because he helped Paul, Babe helped Paul to clear an entire forest. All right, very good. Reading skills. Clarify words and phrases. Think about the words loyal, friend. What do you think the word loyal means? Read the story again to look for clues. So what do you think the word loyal means? He was helping, he was listening, they were trusting each other. So that's why Paul decided to reward Babe when he dug so deep hole it became the Great Lakes. And we talked about the tall tales that give you exaggeration details in a story. We underline the exaggeration part or the details in our story. From over here, the heights of Paul, how strong was he when he just chopped 100 trees with one swing. His ox was blue and he was big as a mountain. And they cleared up an entire forest. So that's why Paul began to dig a deep hole to give him a water fountain, but it became the Great Lakes. All right, so that's it for today, boys and girls, and we're gonna stop till page 43. All right, thank you.